Hey, it looks like we have Gwen in the house.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. How can I help you?
Oh gosh, I didn't know I was going to be questioned.
Or
Jonathan, I
what
was
do you
just
want help
reading.
with? What do you want help with?
Well, I I had my first sexual experience after I lost my husband last year,
Okay.
and I was naive. I was very naive about the adult dating world. I have to
Okay.
admit, and it was someone that I knew from high school and met up with.
Okay.
So the thing was, I think I had some kind of trust because I knew him from way back when. So the thing that happened was we went out for like 4 months, and at the end of that 4 month period, we had been on like 8 different dates during that time. And he asked me
Eight dates in 4 months. 8 dates in four
8 different
months.
times we saw each other. Yeah, yeah.
How
I
far
was
apart
doing
do you live from each other?
about 20 minutes.
Okay. Okay. So it's not that far apart. Okay. Okay.
No, no, no. But I was traveling 2 weeks at a time, like every other month during that time. I was doing a lot of
Okay.
traveling. And so, not only that, we each have our own active lives, that we each had our own
Okay.
active lives. So, what happened was, um, so he was going to get cataract surgery. And he had an early appointment the day of the cataract surgery. So he knew that it would take half hour, 20, 25 minutes for me to get to his place to pick him up and go another half hour, 45 minutes to where he needed to go. So he
Okay.
made this comment of, I said I didn't mind, getting up and coming to get him. And he said, let me think of something. So he calls me a couple of days later and says, and this was 2 days before the event, and he's been divorced twice,
Okay.
just so you know. So I went, so he invited me to go for dinner this one evening, and he has a hot tub. So I actually brought a bathing suit just in case that would happen after dinner. I was okay
Okay.
with that. And what happened was after dinner, after dinner, he suggested the hot tub, which I was prepared for. And I said, I brought my bathing suit. And he said, well, I don't have bathing suits in my hot tub.
Okay.
So you can imagine, and I'm okay with being nude. Okay. My
Okay.
husband and I
Okay.
used to go to a nudist place. Okay. So I'm,
Yeah.
somewhat familiar with that.
You're
And
progressive.
yeah, yeah, right. And he didn't know that. I didn't tell him that.
Okay.
So anyway, so we get in the hot tub, and I didn't do it very ladylike. I was a little bit embarrassed, but anyway. So we did the hot tub, and after the hot tub, of course you're in your, and he must do this with women a lot because he had a nice fluffy white robe for me to put on.
Okay.
Okay. His whole place for having a woman, and you could tell he's used to having a woman occasionally. So
Okay.
I could tell that. So anyway, we had the hot tub and go up, and of course, I'm getting ready, undressed, and he's in another room. I don't know where he was actually. And so he had his shirt on the chair, and I thought, oh my God, I'll put his shirt on. I've always wanted to, the country music videos with Keith Urban and You Look Good in My Shirt
Okay.
song. Okay. So I thought, oh, great, this is my chance to do that. So I put his shirt on, and his sleeves are really long and everything. But anyway, so I put it on, and he comes in the room, and I go, look, do I look good in your shirt? And I think he's not a country music fan, so I don't think he got it really well. But he
Yeah.
did get the Ferris Bueller kind of vibe, whatever. Anyway, um, and nothing was said, but I figured I'm going to bed with him. And I was
Okay.
okay with that. That's kind of what I thought I would like to do anyway. I was starting to fall for him. So we had sex, and it wasn't, he was he's always been attentive to me, but not affectionate. Like no
Okay.
touching my hand or anything like that. And, you know, it was starting. but there was other ways he showed me that he liked me a lot, is the way he
Okay.
talked to me, that I'm sweet and things like that. Anyway, we had sex, and
It wasn't earth shattering.
it wasn't earth shattering. It was nice, I have to admit, because I hadn't had it for a year and a half. So
And
to
just so
me,
I'm clear, you haven't had sex since your husband passed away. And
yes,
how long were
yes,
you married for?
almost 50 years, a
Almost
year,
50 years. Wait,
almost
how
50
old are
years.
you?
I'm 72.
Oh my God, I thought you were younger. Okay,
Oh,
so
good, good,
so
good,
were
good.
you like so you got married when you were a baby? You were married like so well,
I
you
was
must have been in your
21. I was
so was he
21
your
back then.
was your husband your first man ever?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so this is the second man you've ever been in with your in
Yep,
your life.
yep, yep,
Okay. All
yep.
right. So it must have felt awkward in relationship. I mean, for a variety of different reasons, it might
Right.
have
It
felt
wasn't a
awkward.
romantic cuddling type of love. And I know
Okay.
that. I knew that.
Okay.
I
So
knew that.
was it okay? So now I'm going to ask you questions about him. Do you feel comfortable because this is public?
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
okay.
Okay. So was he a selfish lover? Was it all about him getting himself off, or did he actually care about pleasing you?
Actually, I have to admit that when we first got in bed, he started to go, like, I think he got down at the bottom of my feet, and he looked at me, and I think he wanted to give me oral sex, for me. And I
Okay.
shook my head, because to me, that's very intimate. I mean, it
Yeah.
took a long time for my husband to be able to do that to me. And I
Okay.
shook my
Okay.
head, and he respected that. He respected
Yeah.
that. And then when he got over to his side of the bed, um, it's funny, he curled up and turned to the window, and I'm like, why do you turn to the window? I was like, I'm expecting him to want sex, because he had mentioned about how did I feel about being intimate. And I said, I'm okay with that. I admitted I was ready for it, I felt.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it was weird, because then I said to him, I said, Steve, so he turns over, and I look at him, and I gave him a kiss on the tummy, and I started to just put my hand on his stomach, and he tapped my head, which to me, that was my husband's signal to go down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so so I did without any reservation, and he enjoyed it. He admitted he enjoyed it while I was doing it. And afterwards, he did a little bit of spooning, but it wasn't like he didn't cuddle me freely, like he was just there on my back. So I said, can I have your arm? Because I wanted him to be close to me.
Yeah.
And he gave me his arm, and I put my arm on his. And and then and he did that. We laid like that for a little while, but there was no extra cuddling or anything. And I'm thinking to myself, there's something wrong with this picture. He's not reciprocating what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And and then of course, um I think we both had to get up, or he had to get up, and he came back in. I said, that was nice. And he didn't say anything. And then we went to bed. And then in the
Okay.
morning, it was very, very, you know, you know what? I felt comfortable with him. I didn't mind that he didn't say a lot, but
Okay.
I knew it wasn't the warmth that I was expecting. And he
Okay. And how,
admitted
by
to
the
me,
way, how old is he?
he's the same age,
Okay, same age. I just was curious.
same
So you're
age.
both
Yeah,
72 years old.
yeah, yeah.
So, okay, is it okay if I coach you a little bit?
I would like that coaching.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So, well, I'm just going to be your big brother, or in your case, your little brother, giving you
Mhm,
advice, or
mhm.
younger brother, because I am taller than you, I'm sure, as far as size, big being. So how long ago did you two? How long ago did this happen?
Oh, this was back in April.
April of this year.
Yeah.
And are the two of you still seeing each other?
No, no. Mm-mm.
Okay. So, well, I mean, have you processed the, well, wait a minute. Why aren't the two of you seeing each other?
Well, what happened was, after that happened, and it's weird, that prior to that happening, he had mentioned that his wife, ex-wife, his first wife, who he had a
Yeah.
good relationship with, she was going to take him to the appointment, and he got COVID in the meantime. So
Okay.
things changed, and when I knew that he had to go for a second one, I offered to take him. So
Yeah.
what happened then after the COVID episode, I guess he wanted to have me take him instead of
Okay.
his wife. But so knowing that, and when he mentioned to me that his that first wife, he was going to stay overnight after having the surgery. He was going to be with
Okay.
her overnight. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so they probably have sex together. I'm probably
Okay.
thinking. Anyway, so but anyway, so because of that, I kind of felt like he probably, and with bringing up that thing about how do you feel about being intimate, is
Yeah.
that sex was something that he was thinking would possibly happen between
Okay.
us. So the next day, I had to go. We went about our days the next day, and I said
Yeah.
to him, without him even asking me back, I said, "I'll be back tonight. I expect that I should stay overnight so that I don't have to. He doesn't have to worry about me coming early to pick him up to take him."
Okay.
And
Got it.
that's
Got
what
it.
happened. It was very natural. There was no, he didn't say anything about whether he didn't want me there or not. And I
Okay.
felt very comfortable. I didn't feel like he was taking advantage of me, because this is something I wanted to do.
Okay. We're going to get to that in a minute. So now
Hmm.
let's get to how did the two of you, how did this dynamic end?
Okay, the dynamic ended that after I took him to his cataract surgery thing,
Yeah.
he I dropped him off, and I could tell he was tired. So I said, "I'm going to go." I said, "You need to get your rest." And he called me later that day and said, "I had some rest. I was thinking about you." And, it's funny because sometimes our conversations, I didn't know how to talk to him sometimes, because he didn't express himself as loving me or falling in love with me like I was starting to fall in love with him. So the conversation was kind of basic, and then he said, "Thank you for taking me." So then I don't hear anything from him for 2 days, nothing.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I didn't call him. I kind of felt like he should call me.
Okay.
Okay. So he didn't. And on a Sunday, I texted him about, "I can't believe you're ghosting me." And then I told him how, that he was, um, he was the first man that I've ever, besides my husband, was had relations with. And I said that, I was hoping that we could have, a good relationship. I wasn't expecting marriage, but I was expecting some love and respect and everything. So he read that and called me within 5 to 10 minutes back. And he started to
Okay,
talk to
so
me.
I want to acknowledge something. Just I
Uh-huh.
want to go down a rabbit hole for a moment, but and this is not discounting your experience.
Uh-huh.
So you said 2 days went by, he didn't call you.
Right.
Why is it the man's job to call?
Well, I'm usually the one that initiates the phone call.
Okay, so previously your dynamic, you were always the one who initiated conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Chris.
after the two of you were physically intimate,
Mm-hmm.
you had an expectation to change the way your previous dynamic was.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only acknowledging, and I just want to say this because you said he ghosted you. Well,
Uh-huh.
he didn't, but the thing is, it only been 2 days. I mean,
Uh-huh.
ghosting would be he never ghosting is you're in a full-blown committed relationship and they just completely disappear off the planet. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
he might have simply been, well, she's the one who usually reaches out. I'll wait for her to reach out. I just want to
Okay.
I
Okay.
want, I want, okay. So, but you reached out and he immediately, like, you reached out, like, wait a minute, it's not right. We just
Mm-hmm.
had sex and you're not,
Mm-hmm.
doing anything, right? This is what,
Mm-hmm.
so you're calling him out, so to speak. And he
Mm-hmm.
immediately responded. So that
Right.
demonstrates character there. Let's just acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yes. Yes.
happened then?
Well, the conversation was is that he said, I want he said, I just want you, I like you, but I don't feel
Okay, I
romantically
want to
with you.
interrupt for a second
Uh-huh.
because two people have just posted something.
Uh-huh.
I thought men don't value a woman who chases, and the second person says, "Why didn't she call? She wouldn't be chasing." I want to be clear with everybody, okay?
Uh-huh.
And this is Gwen, I'm speaking to everybody now,
Yeah, that's
okay?
okay. That's okay.
Everybody, a woman initiating a phone call is not chasing. I don't know where you guys have it in your head. You think this is chasing. Making effort for clarity of communication is not chasing someone. It is chasing someone who's running away and you are trying to get them back. That is chasing. I'm sorry, I'm very loud and passionate here, Gwen. All Gwen did was she wanted clarity. So she initiated a conversation. Okay, I had to say that.
Hmm.
So he said, okay, so his next response was, I'm not feeling, finish that again.
Yeah, he said that he wasn't romantically involved in interested
Yeah.
in me, but that he liked me. And I think when he said that, because see, our relationship started out with me reaching out to him to be a friend, because I wanted a male friend that I could do things with, go places with, because that's what I was missing with my husband. We always did things together, especially on the weekends when my friends are busy doing their thing. And it's not like my friends didn't include me, but I really wanted a male presence in my life. So that's how our relationship started. But
Okay.
I started to like him like mid couple months. I started to like him. And I thought that he knew that I was getting into him by the way that, we communicated and did things together. We did some nice things together. We had some nice times together. I don't know. But the thing
Can I
is,
make a comment? Can I make a
yeah,
comment? So it's
yeah.
just because Gigi posted a comment. She said, she's 72, had one partner her entire life. She's naive. You know what? I certainly, I suspect that you are certainly not, you have not experienced the dysfunctional nature of the current dating marketplace. Hence, you might be naive. But at the same time, what I want to acknowledge is that you are just following your heart. You were just following curiosity. You were
Mm-hmm,
just curious
mm-hmm,
because you don't have to, I suspect you don't have to subscribe to some ancient rituals that we learned. You're a baby boomer, so you grew up
mm-hmm.
with the silent generation parents and all of the programming and scripts that we heard growing up. And you're
Yep.
like, look, I'm a free bird. I can do
Mm-hmm,
whatever I want.
mm-hmm.
If I want to bring my bathing suit, knowing that it's a possibility, maybe you shaved your legs ahead of time or not. I don't know. I'm just saying that tongue in cheek. Uh, but you know what? You were open to whatever experience. But most importantly, what I appreciate, and I want you to know what I'm hearing from you, I don't get the sense you felt used, right?
No.
I don't get the sense that you feel ashamed of anything, right?
I'm Yeah, in a way, I do have regrets. I do have
Okay, well,
regrets.
let's process that then. You have some regrets. What's your
Mhm.
regret?
My regret is that when we were doing that last conversation, and he said that he didn't have any romantic feelings for me, that he liked me. And over the course of our conversations, he's talked about his exes and how the last one was very, bad for him. He has
Yeah.
bad feelings for his second wife. That um, I feel like when he started to say that he had not even a romance, because I believe in love at first sight, because my
Okay.
husband, when we met, I knew I liked him right away. And it just grew from there, and we ended up getting married. So I do feel that if you really like someone, pretty soon whether or not you like somebody
Well,
when you meet
so
them. And the
All
fact
right,
that
so I'm going
I
to
fell in love
educate
pretty
you a
much
little
within
bit.
a couple months of us being.
Yeah. So I'm going to educate you a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to ask you a question. Did he
Okay.
ejaculate did he ejaculate? Did he have an
You're breaking
orgasm?
up, by the way.
Okay. I said, did he have an
I
orgasm?
think he did, but
Okay. Okay. I'm
I
going to
think
explain
yes,
something in
yes,
a
I
moment.
can.
Okay. So
Mhm.
I am sure you've heard the phrase men like the hunt, men like the chase, right? Have you heard
Yes,
that
I've heard
before?
that. Yes.
Okay. So here's
Oh
the
yeah,
thing.
I've heard that
Men
after the fact.
Okay. So when women hear the phrase men love the hunt, men love the chase, men go after what they want. Okay.
Hmm.
Men aren't hunting. I want a relationship. I want a relationship. That's what I'm hunting. Men hunt sex. So his initial overture towards you, even at 72 years old, was a physical overture. This is very
Hmm.
typical for men. We biologically are driven by our little head and not our big head. Okay. What happens is when we ejaculate, all of a sudden, we have clarity on what we really want. Okay.
Yeah, you're breaking up again.
Okay.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's your end or my end, but so what this is also referred to as um, post nut clarity. So what happened is after he achieved his goal, he then was faced with, do I really like this person or not? Beyond the surface, I like you as a human being. I'm sure he likes you and actually has some genuine care for you, but not enough to commit, not enough to invest emotionally. What he really meant when he says, I don't have romantic feelings for you, what I think he really meant was, I don't feel like I want to explore a deeper, emotionally committed relationship with you because
Hmm.
I'm not feeling what I think I should be feeling at this point. A lot of men are
Hmm.
very uncertain about their feelings because biologically this hunt is all physical, but the thing is you guys spent quite a bit of time on an emotional level building up a little bit of friendship. And
Hmm.
so I'm curious, after he said that, what happened between the two of you? What happened next?
Well, when he said that, I think and it seemed like, you know, it seemed like he was getting a little choked up. But when he said that he didn't have any romantic feelings for me, I think I started to think, I right away thought to myself, how can I be his friend if he doesn't think of me? How can I be a friend because I'm romantically getting connected to him? So I thought I can't be a friend because I
You're
like
getting
him.
attached.
I'm getting attached.
Yeah, you're getting
So
attached.
I said to him, goodbye, Steve. I ended the conversation. I could have let him, I think he was going to talk to me a little bit more, but
Okay.
I prematurely said, goodbye, Steve. And then it was really cute. He said, by the way, do you want the containers back that you have? Because I've brought food, and stuff. Um, and I said, no, they're just plastic. It's okay. And I should have said, and I had a bottle of wine in his fridge, and I wish I had said, but there's a bottle of wine in your fridge. And maybe if I had said that, we could have gotten together and talked a little bit more. But it kind of ended because after that, I didn't hear from him. A couple weeks went by, and I think I reached out to him, and like 3 or 4 weeks later, and he never answered the call.
Oh, okay.
So I let it go, and a month and a half after that happened, it was his birthday. And the last year, we were Facebook friends. Last year I had given him a birthday greeting, and I did it again, and he texted me back, thank you, with a happy face like he always does. And I thought, okay, so he's not mad at me, but he didn't pursue any more, interventions with me and stuff.
Yeah.
So I have regrets that I prematurely did not let him talk more. That's my regret.
You prematurely did not allow him to express more. See, here's the awkwardness of this dynamic. And while you
Mm-hmm.
had some familiarity with him because you knew him from your past, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But now you're reestablishing, and while you guys were on a social level a couple times engaging with one another, what happens when it turns physical before real trust has been built, and this isn't your fault, okay? This
Mm-hmm.
is a very common tale, okay? And is that there was no real conversation about what, well, let me clarify this. Did each one of you talk about what you're looking for in a romantic relationship? Did you guys even have those kind of conversations about what you, because you guys didn't meet on a dating app, so there wasn't a real
No, no.
dating dynamic. You two were
Mm-hmm.
just developing a little bit of a friendship. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the mistake, and I'm saying this for everybody, and when I say the word mistake, is
Mm-hmm.
the minute you begin engaging with the opposite sex,
Mm-hmm.
you need to be clear. Are we just friends, or is there something beyond friendship here? If there's something beyond friendship, then it behooves, and I say this particularly for women, to get clarity on what the other person wants. And I don't believe, but first and foremost is to get clarity on what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't even gone down that rabbit hole with you to find out what you want, but we certainly didn't find out what he was looking for, what he desired in a relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
you guys, so what happened was you were just driven by your hormones and all that sort of thing, the physical desires, and you didn't establish any roots of trust outside of this vague familiarity that the two of you had. And the minute, okay, what happened, why he pulled away and why he disengaged, because one, he didn't want to make a promise he couldn't keep, and that is something beyond, something related to commitment. That's part of the
Mm-hmm.
reason why.
Mm-hmm.
He might have also felt embarrassed. He might have actually internalized it and say, you know what, since I'm not pursuing a relationship with her, I better keep my distance because I don't want to create the false sense of this.
Mm-hmm.
And because you guys didn't build a solid friendship with each other, at least that's what it appears, there was nothing to build upon because the cat was already out of the bag, so to speak. You didn't do anything wrong. Let me just say, even that you didn't have left the bottle of wine and all that kind of stuff, you didn't not do anything wrong, Gwen. I just want to acknowledge that. What
Mm-hmm.
I also want to acknowledge for you is, you know what? Bravo to you. You know what? You were married for 50 years, you know, 50 years. First off, I hope it was 50 good years, or even if there was, I mean, I'm hoping that it was a good
There were
marriage.
good and bad times, like any marriage, like any
Hey, my
marriage.
mother told me there was a decade where she wished my father was dead out of their 66 years together. So
There
10
were.
out of 66 years, it was that bad for her. But they got through it, and their last 30
Yep.
years was wonderful, or not wonderful, but very, very loving, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So bravo to you. You know what? You got out there. Please forgive me what I'm going to say if it sounds crass. You got laid. Yay. Let's celebrate it. You got laid. Yay.
I really needed that too. If
Yeah,
I
you know
was
what? There were cobwebs growing down there. You wanted to make sure that the plumbing still worked. And you know what?
I
And
missed
you know
that
what, by the way,
intimacy.
you still have life left in you and you have sex left in you. So let me do this. Can I thank you for being on?
Oh, you're welcome. I
This
didn't
was been a
expect to be the
delightful
one.
this has been a delightful conversation. I'm gonna give my thoughts on this and then wrap up this video. Okay. So I'm gonna
Okay.
say, can I give you a big gigantic Jonathan Bear hug?
Oh, thank you. One back to you.
Oh,
One
thank
back
you
to
so
you.
much. Gwen, thanks so much. You know, Gwen is a delightful creature. I just want to acknowledge that. You know, I think the moral of this story is, because sadly I hear this so frequently. He says, I don't feel something romantic for you after physical intimacy. This is a very common tale. At the same time, what's most important in this conversation is, one, Gwen didn't get attached to an outcome. She was just following her heart. She was just following her intuition. And thankfully, it was a safe person. She had some familiarity, so it wasn't a total stranger. You know, his actions, while some of you might criticize or judge his actions, it's a very common tale. Men are driven biologically. And that's why there's a saying, ladies, men are the gas, women are the brakes. Women are the gatekeepers of sex and men are the gatekeepers of commitment. I'm here to encourage every one of you, if you seek a life partnership type relationship, then before you become physically intimate with someone, get clarity on what they desire, but more importantly, get clarity on what you desire. And if you're only in a space of, I don't know what I want, and it's casual, then there are no standards. If it's casual, there are no standards. And what I mean to say is, you can't expect someone to want something more than you if you go into, now, I didn't say this isn't about Gwen. I just mean, ladies, for those of you that don't know what you want, but you know you want companionship, connection, and sex, but you don't know you want commitment, without that knowing, you might find yourself in similar circumstances. And thankfully for Gwen, she was able to have that physical intimacy. It had been a long time for her. And I think she feels good about that. Let's give her some props. Let's give her a big hug. And let's hope that for those of you and her who might seek to have a life partner, you go in next time with more clarity, because clarity breeds confidence, and confidence leads to better choices. Is this sinking in? Is this resonating with you? Please let me know if it is. Post a comment below. I'd like to hear your thoughts. As always, if you find value in my videos, please hit that like button. Please share this video. Please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of new videos. And if you want to connect with me directly, there's links to schedule a discovery call with me to see if working with the coach is right for you. There's a link to join my group called Midlife Love Mastery. There's a link to get the books I recommend. There's links to get my dating vows, which Gwen, please get a copy of my dating vows. It's listed below. And also you can find me on Instagram and all other social media. Hey, if you found value in this conversation, do me a favor. Hit that little $sign and donate to the Connor Asley Scholarship Fund. We still got another $30 to go. I'd appreciate some love. If 10 of you just gave us $2 each, we could get to that goal tonight. I'd love to give some money away. We've got RN Lynn that says, hugs to Gwen. Life of Riley says, yeah, go, way to go. Faith says, Gwen is cool. I wish her the very best. Travel Goddess says, you deserve better, Gwen. You're an intelligent woman with love to give your next relationship. I agree. Let's see. Susan says you're delightful. She deserves reciprocity. Christina says, what an awesome lady. I agree. I agree. Stacy says, what a beautiful woman. And Maureen says, I think Gwen wanted something more, probably. But that's the price that's why it's called dating. You know why it's called dating? Because you know what but the original term was, holy shit, trying to figure out another human being is ridiculously hard. And they replaced that with the word dating. All right, folks, I think this will be a great place to wrap up my video for tonight. I hope you got value out of this conversation. And again, if you did, please hit that like button. I'm going to wrap up this video as I always do. First off, give myself a big, gigantic Jonathan Barrick of self-love. I'm going to reach into the camera and give you a hug of love if that's okay. I'm going to ask you to turn to someone, a pet, a teddy bear, a pillow, and give it or them a hug of love, because hugs are a great source of love. And let's face it, we could all use more love in our lives.